Hello guys, welcome to the Game and Frame preview of the Cosmopolitan spring season. I'm delighted to be joined by CSL FC, one of the teams who I regard to be the most exciting in the Cosmopolitan League. We have the manager, Benjamin Alexandre. We have Jimmy McCourt, the veteran, and the top scorer, the young star, Kennison DeLise. Guys, I want to talk to you about the season so far. But before we get to that, I wanted to learn a little bit about the CSL history. You know, when did CSL start and what was the journey to get to the second division?
Ben, you did the first to answer this. Go ahead.
CSL started in 1991. It was a bunch of friends from Nyack High School. I think I was a senior at Nyack High School at the time. I was just a player, like everybody else. And then I wasn't part of the decision-making process team. So like I said, I was just a player. So after 2 years, within 2 years, we participated in many tournaments in Spring Valley, around the town. So we were a bunch of 19, 20-year-old kids who were just having fun. And then after a couple of years, then the team, everybody went their separate ways. So, and I realized, wait, we can't just not have a soccer team. Like there were soccer teams, but if you don't have friends in the team, you really can't play. You know, you have to know somebody to play. So I'm like, you know what? Let me bring the team back. So that's how from, I would say 2000, around like 95, 96, I brought CSL back to what it is now. We've been to many tournaments in Canada, so it was fun traveling overseas.
So when you started the team again in like 95 or 96, was there like a set plan in your mind where you're like, we are going to become an 11-a-side team, you know, we're going to go to the Cosmopolitan League, or was it something that you figured out over time?
No, I wasn't even aware of the Cosmopolitan League at the time. Like I said, I wasn't in charge back then. I took over when everything was dead. So I took over and then took it from there. Now that we're running, I've played for Wackland Athletic, who was in the Cosmopolitan League. And then they stopped playing. So I'm like, you know what? This is a nice league for me to join. So that team didn't exist anymore. So I took over, like, CSL took that spot. We entered into the Cosmo League. So from there, I've seen opportunities for our youngsters in Watkins County to give them a chance to get exposures. And like I told you last year, our plan is to move up to Division 1, which is, I would say, we're halfway there.
So let's touch on that now. So you are right now, you're 4 points off of Central Park Rangers at the top. You are in second place. So right now you would have a promotion playoff spot. How do you guys feel like the full season went? What was the good parts? What was the bad parts?
I would say the bad part to the start. I guess we weren't expecting to start the way we started. You know, losing the first 2 games with at least 9 goals in 2 games. That was hard. So, you know, then, you know, coach had to get everybody together, bring the team spirit back, like the winning mentality that we have. And then from losing our 2 first game, we were able to, like I told you, we got new talent, a bunch of young kids who's, you know, they're hungry to be successful. The 3rd game, 4th game, we started winning. So the attitude started to change. And the guys became more hungry. So from after the second loss, we won 7 consecutive games. I mean, was it 7? Yeah, 7.
I think so. Yeah, 7, yeah.
So that was a great turnaround. And then we lost the last game because some of the guys came late to the game So it's hard to get into a game after, the game started.
Let me just piggyback on what Ben has been saying. So there are some great teams in the Cosmo League in the second division. And just like any other team, we had some ups and downs. Like Ben said, we lost the first two. And we really had to come together as a team to really overcome those two losses. And coach did what he had to do. We are a very talented team. We have a lot of young players, but getting all the players to gel together, that was the challenge at the beginning of the season. And coach, with his expertise, he was able to do that. And the mentality started changing. And we started having a winning mentality, and we had the goal in mind, which was for us to do what we do best, which is win, and then move on to the next division. And we started at the third division of the Cosmo League. So we were promoted. How long ago, Ben? Was it 3 years ago? We were promoted to 2 years ago.
2
We were
years.
promoted to the second division. And, the goal is still the same, for us to keep going higher and higher until we reach the first division. And those problems, those difficulties that we overcame at the beginning of the season, we're trying not to fall back into the trap that we fell into during the first part of the season, during the first two games. But like every other team, we had our ups and downs, and we're definitely working consistently to keep moving forward.
And Kenderson, obviously you're one of the young talented players that Jimmy is referencing. After that really tough start, and then you guys had this amazing run of form that Ben mentioned. Was there a particular game in that 7-1 run win streak where you really felt the self-belief of the players coming back that you guys really could be contending to be top of that table?
I don't really remember the name of the team, but I don't. But I think it was like the third game. I'll say against Japan and Windows Island. It was like the first was before the game. We was talking and then we were like, we need to win this game so we can get back on track. And every player had to put extra work during practice, and in that game it was one of the best games we played because we played with heart and we didn't want to lose that game too.
Yeah, you won that one 4-1. So it was a really big win, which kind of started all. And Kenderson, you as I noticed, you've scored 12 goals in 6 games. What has been behind the personal good form for you?
It's first off, it's God and the work that I put in practice, and I have confidence in myself. You can be a good player, but if you don't have confidence, you can't play the game. And yeah, that was it.
And
Nice.
I'll admit that watching Kenderson this season versus Kenderson last season, there's a big difference. He's hungrier. He goes to go a lot more, and he's been training a lot on finishing. And we can see the result. And hopefully, he will keep on doing that, and he will be able to carry the team, and will continue to have many more wins with his help.
Certainly that practice seems to have paid off by the scoring record. You guys have mentioned, that you feel like you've got a really talented team. I of course remember streaming you guys in spring 2021 and just how exciting you guys were in terms of attacking. Just every game was like 4-3. What do you guys feel is the biggest strength of Misil out in the field?
Ben, I'll attack that, and then you can piggyback on me. That works? All right. So honestly, we feel like we have something to prove. We are the only team that is not in the metropolitan area. Okay. So for us to travel for our game, we have to travel to the city multiple times. So there are 11 of us in the league. So we have to play 10 away games, and each team has to come up here just once. Okay, so we have to keep putting Rockland County on the map. We have to keep on putting the name Missile FC on the map. Okay, and we want other people to know our strength in the Cosmopolitan League, and for us not to be taken lightly. Okay, we respect all teams in the league. There are, like I said earlier, there are a lot of talented teams. Okay, and we are very talented also, and we have to prove that to the rest of the teams, to the league officials, to everybody, that Rockland County is a force. It's a power in the Cosmopolitan League. Okay, and we want exposure for our young kids, and a lot of them, other than that, they wouldn't get the exposure. So when we step on the field, we have to give it all. We have to leave it all on the field with no regrets when we go back home, because it's a long ride if we play at Rendo's Island, for us to drive back home. So we're not driving with a loss. It's gonna be a sad, long ride. So definitely.
Yeah, I mean, our strength is able to work together, because some of the guys, we don't practice every day like we should, because of personal work, our personal lives. We practice twice a week. So I think it's the togetherness within the team. Everybody's hungry to make it to the second division. And I think
to the first division.
One of our strengths is offensive, where at any given moment we can score 10 goals easily if we choose to.
And so, looking into spring season, you guys are very clear, right? You want to get into that first division this season. I know you wanted to do it the year before as well, and you fell short. You're in a much better position this season, obviously. With that big win streak. That being said, it's very tight. It's like 3 points between you guys in second place and Japan in fifth spot, right? So there's really 5 teams that are in this race. What do you guys think you need to do to get yourself that Division 1 ticket at the end of the season?
I wouldn't say it's easy, but we have to. It's a must to win at least 5 games. One, we have to beat Central Park Rangers, who sits on top. Second is the New York the Ukrainians. We have to knock them off. And then you have New York Internationals. That's a good team. When they came to our house, that was a great game. And then we have NYPD, who beat us 5-3. I think that may have been a fluke, but we'll get them back. And then Black FC, we did beat them 5-0, but going to in the city next season, it's not gonna be as easy. We just know that. And then I would say Desportiva Sociedad, we have to beat them, and then we should have room to breathe. Like, not take the season off, but soon as long as we beat those teams, we should be in a better position.
And I'll also say that we are pragmatic, and the game of soccer, anything can happen at any moment. And as I keep on mentioning, there are some great teams in this league, okay? But we have to treat every single game as it is a final. Every single game has to be treated as a final. And if we have that mentality, we go into the game with that mentality, we play with that mentality, and hopefully we will get the wins that we deserve, the wins that we must get in order for us to be promoted.
And Kenderson, all those teams that Ben, Jim mentioned, you guys are going to play that you really need to win. Is there one team that you are most looking forward to facing again in spring season?
Yeah, there's a lot of them, but there's 2 teams. Is the one that's in the first place, Central Park, and New York Ukrainians. Those 2 teams I'm looking forward to play against them.
You're going to get some payback.
We will.
I guess this is a question for I'm sorry to call you older guys, Jimmy and Ben, but I'm an older guy as well with Henderson in this room. But you guys, you've been in the CSL for a while now. How have you seen the league change over the years that Misil's been in it? In terms of standard, in terms of the community of different teams.
I think there's been improvement. I think there's a lot of improvement I've noticed. And the way we used to register the players compared to now, it's much easier. I remember I used to travel to the office like 3-4 times a week just to register players. Oh man, it was a long ride. But now I could just sit in my room, sit anywhere, just do the registration like that.
Did you used to have to, sorry to interrupt, I just have to ask you, as well as going to the office physically, did you ever have to send faxes as well to register players? Or was it just going physically?
It was easier to just drive there. It was much easier. And sometimes it was late at night. So they have done a great job, I must say. The people in the offices, they do their thing.
And what about the standards of the teams? Would you say the level is going up every year of the teams you're facing?
I would say yes. And, there's more attractive soccer within the league, which is very attractive to other teams to come in. And that's why, since we already have the privilege to be in the second division, we must handle our business and put the first division teams on notice that we're coming.
I mean, it only makes sense because we're in the third division. Once you go up to a higher division, the level of play would be different and should be at a higher level, hopefully. And personally, I've noticed it. And when we come earlier for our games, before our games start, if there's a first division team or first division game being played, we can see the difference. Yeah, we can see the difference. So definitely there are some talented teams, and we're trying to do our thing and get to first division and let our talent be shown.
And it's still a little bit of time before spring season starts. Is there going to be any Misil FC transfer activity, or has anyone tried to steal the lease from you? Ben, you're mute, Ben.
What he's trying to say is that no.
I don't think they have enough money to.
What, Ben? Out of curiosity, and you don't have to answer this. How much would they have to offer for Delise right now for you even to consider?
It's not even. It's not just the financial aspect of it. As long as he has the opportunity to move on to the next beyond the Cosmopolitan, then we can talk. Because that's our goal for the youth. Make sure it's either they make it to the MLS or this would be their personal, their career. That's why we as Misil, that's what we're trying to do for the youth. For be a bridge so they can, venture wherever is possible.
And I'm glad that Ben brought that up. And we're not just a bunch of people, a bunch of friends, coming out on Sundays to have fun, to kick the ball around, but we do have goals. We have quite a few young players. And since we've been around town for a while, and our goal is to really gear those kids towards something greater, something bigger than, the Cosmopolitan League, to help them achieve something bigger in their life. Going to college. For it is, as Ben mentioned, playing at a professional level.
So Henderson, I'll put you on the spot then. What are the aspirations for you as a player? What is the biggest dream, right? If you felt like everything could go right, what is the biggest dream where you want to be taking your soccer game?
I'll say the highest level and represent my country, Haiti, for sure. Because no, that was always like my dream ever since I was playing soccer. No, when I was in Haiti and when I came to the US, it's always been my dream to go play in the highest level, to experience it, you know, and
And how?
hopefully, sorry.
Sorry, I interrupted. You carry on. Sorry, you carry on.
And hopefully, and my story can like inspire other young players to follow their dream too.
That's really amazing. And how do you feel like Missil FC? Because obviously Jimmy said it and Ben both said it's really important that Missil helps young talented players like yourself progress. How do you feel like Missil is helping you take those steps towards your dream of playing for Haiti, playing at the highest possible level?
And they've been helping me ever since I joined the team, especially Ben and Coach Mikot. They've always been there for me. Whether it's like advice or trying to find trials for me, they always been there, and they're helping me get in there.
A little history here. Kenderson played against me in high school, so he went to the rivalry school. So I coached at his rivalry school. So he played against me when he was in high school. But nonetheless, that didn't stop us from being part of the same Missil family.
Henderson, how many goals did you score against Jimmy's team that day?
There's one I remember very well. Was it a free kick?
Yeah, it was a free kick.
Yeah, I remember that one very well. That ended up hurting me badly.
Something that you guys are consistently talking about is, the kind of the really strong community that Missil has, up in Rockland. It's predominantly Haitian, correct?
Well,
Missil is not only Haitian.
We were predominantly Haitian for a period of time, but we have changed that where we attract people from all over. We attract people from all different cultures in Rockland County, outside of Rockland County, and and that's what we're trying to put out there. That Missil is not a Haitian team per se. We're very inclusive.
But for you, the priority really it's to include the whole of Rockland community. It's not just about one nationality. It's about bringing everyone together from that community, giving them a family to be part of, and to a team that makes the whole community proud.
Ever since I've been part of Missil, we've had all nationalities from Ireland, England, South African, Ghanaians, you name it. We've had it. So it's not just it's a Haitian. Yeah, I'm from Haiti. I'm running the show, but that doesn't mean I only take Haitian players. That's not what it is. Everybody's welcome.
That's all right. I'm really glad that I asked that question, so that anyone who had that idea that they now know the correct. So if there's anyone talented listening in Rockland, no matter where you're from,
where you're from.
Yeah, you just got to score about as many goals as the least. You got to get about 12 or 13 assist games, and then maybe Benjamin will give you a chance.
Hey, that's what we're about, giving people chances.
Yeah. And my last question, guys, is what does football really mean to you beyond just kicking a soccer ball? What does it mean to you and your community?
Soccer means a whole lot. As I when I was young, my dream was to be a professional soccer player, and that was always my focus. Even I remember my senior year in high school, I didn't want to graduate so I could stay and play soccer, which was crazy. But I was thinking about it. Then again, life goes on. I had to move on. So soccer it's good to have a career where you're getting paid to do something that you really enjoy, that you have passion for. And I think this is what I'm trying to instill inside in those young guys, that listen, you love soccer, you have the passion for it. Why not trying to get paid to do it? So this is when we come in to try to expose them and give them the opportunities to be seen, to see where it takes them. I'm good.
All right. Well, guys, thank you so much for taking the time to talk to me. It was really interesting learning about Miss Seal's history. I'm very interested to see where the second half of the season goes. I think for a neutral, it's going to be a really, really exciting promotion race. I have to ask you one more question. I always love this question. In your gut, so not thinking about brains or tactics, what position is Miss Seal going to finish?
First.
I would say first too, because we're not happy where we are right now.
I'll be satisfied with the first place or second place.
All right, we'll see. You're in a good spot for that second for sure. and Central Park Rangers are going to have to be watching over their shoulder because it sounds like you guys are coming for them.
They're better.
Yeah.
One thing I'm going to say, Josh, I want you. Sometime we're going to invite you to our functionings so you can learn about our culture. It's not just, it's good that you can learn something from us.
I would absolutely love that, Ben. I would love that. I really would. Yeah.
You'll get the invitation.
I would love that. Maybe bring us back to live stream as well. I have to say, we don't see as many goals when we don't live stream Miss Seal. I'm a little upset. I've missed all 12 of Delice's goals.
He might have some.
Yeah, no, but I'd be thrilled to come up and learn more about the culture up there, Benjamin. So yes, please, let's find a time.
I want that to happen.
All right. Is there going to be food involved? I always love it, particularly when there's food involved.
That's number one.
All right, I'm there. Okay. All right. Well, Benjamin Alexander, Jimmy McCourt, Kennison Delice, thank you so much for joining me. Good luck in the spring season, and look forward to seeing you guys out there at some point.
Thank you.
Thank you for having us. It was a pleasure.